Welcome back. All right, so at about 1 o'clock Eastern, I'm starting this review because the schedule for the first round is stupid again. Because of all the overlap they have with the games, I have no chance to do any reviewing until all of the games are finished, meaning that if we get overtime in a late game, who knows when I'll be starting. But at any rate, Toronto and Boston, we're starting with this one. I'm going in chronological order. And so Toronto came into this one tonight, of course, down 1-0. We had Samsonov versus Ullmark, so they went back with Samsonov. Turned out to be the right call. And I think Ullmark had a good game as well. I wouldn't pin this on Ullmark, but Nylander not in the lineup. Toronto played pretty well without Nylander. So McAvoy has a hit early that draws some cheers. The Leafs had the only shot on net 2 minutes in. Some good early flow to this game. Marner to Tavares, there's a near miss. There's a press by Toronto at 3 minutes. Things are pushy on a hold by Ullmark. Carlo then has a shot, that's held. Holmberg has a screenshot that's saved. Pasternak with a reverse hit on Tavares, that draws some cheers as well. Bruins press, but they're kept to the outside. The shots were 5-2 for Toronto at 6.5 minutes. Really strong play by Toronto. I'm going to say this. I think Toronto played a very similar game tonight to the one they played in game one. They got the saves when they needed them tonight. So, net feed to Matthews is blocked. Leafs continue clogging the middle of their own zone pretty well. Things are pushy on a hold by Ullmark. Marchand has a net drive that's blocked. Grzelcyk has a shot that's held as the Bruins press. And then, on a hold, a dumb penalty by McCabe. Just a cross-check on Lauko after the whistle while everybody's looking at him. So, yeah, you don't want to do that. So he goes to the box, and you know when it's a bad penalty like that what's going to happen. So Coyle fans on one of the Bruins cycle, and they score. Geekie opens the scoring for Boston. Marchand and DeBrusk with the assist at 10-17. And it was a cross-crease pass and buried. But the Leafs tonight, this is a good way to come back. So first Matthews hits the post, and then Domi buries it. So Matthews gets the assist at 10:32. It takes 15 seconds for them to tie the game back up, and then they look for the lead. The Leafs press with 7.5 minutes left. They draw a power play. There's an early clear. Matthews has a tip that's saved. He's denied on the next shot. Puck's cleared out. There's a shorthanded rush by Heinen that kills some time. The Leafs cycle late. It's cleared again. Power play's killed off. One shot on net during said power play. The Leafs press after it's done. There's a near miss for Dewar. Things get punchy on an Ullmark hold. The shots are 12-7 for the Leafs with 4.5 minutes left in the period. Leafs are controlling. They press with 3.5 minutes left. There's more pressure by them with 2 minutes left. Robertson has a rush chance that's kicked aside. Coyle has a sharp angle shot that's saved in the final minute. Samsonov takes one to the mask. And then on the ensuing faceoff in 1952 on a tic-tac-toe play, Pasternak scores to make it 2-1 Boston from Zacha and McAvoy. So it's 2-1 after the first in favor of Boston. Second period, early press by the Bruins. The Bruins have a 3-on-2. That gets broken up. Benoit has a screenshot that's held. Geekie with a rush chance that gets defended. There were no shots on net 3.5 minutes in. I thought good defense by both teams. There wasn't any room in the middle for either team. Lauko has a rush chance that's held. There's some pushing. The Leafs press at 6 minutes. Yarncroke can't bury one in close. Samsonov robs DeBrusk on a 3-on-1 rush. McAvoy to Heinen. Near miss there. Matthews has a shot that's kicked aside. The Leafs press at 8 minutes, but the shots are 3-2 for Boston at 8.5 minutes. So not a lot of shots at that point in the period, but it would pick up. Frederick fires one wide on a face-off win. The teams then exchange rush chances. Marchand has a shot that's blocked. It's cleared out. Then there's too many men on the ice, so the Leafs go to the power play. Matthews has a shot that's held. There's a shorthanded rush by Beecher. He misses wide. The Leafs set up. They cycle. Bertuzzi can't bury one. There's more cycling. Puck's cleared out. Nyes to Yarncroke, near miss. They cycle again. Nyes has a chance that's saved. And then Yarncroke's denied after the power play comes to an end, so they don't score on that one either. And then they reviewed to see whether or not Ullmark's save was behind the goal line because he caught it in his glove and he pulled his glove out, but no goal. Leafs press with 5.5 minutes left. They're kept to the outside. Domi has a net drive chance. That's held. They have some momentum to the Leafs at that point. Domi has a wraparound that's blocked. Zacha can't bury one in close. Puck's cleared out. With 3:08 left, there's a power play for Toronto. Bertuzzi scores, but they ruled that as a high stick. It was a high stick. They reviewed to make sure. Marner has a shot that deflects high. Then there's a shorthanded rush by DeBrusk. The Leafs set up, and they score. Tavares on the power play at 18:26. He goes short side from the slot. Matthews and Bertuzzi with the assists. The Bruins look to respond, but it's 2-2 after the second period. Third period, Marner has a backhand shot that's held. The net feed to Marchand, near miss, as the Bruins get some pressure. The Leafs then press on their own at 2 minutes. We get 2 minutes of 4-on-4. The fans disagree. The Bruins felt that because there was too many men on the ice that was called, but a Bruins player is trying to leave the ice, and he's not able to. So the argument from the officials was basically because he couldn't get off the ice because Reeves was holding on to him, you still can't send the other guy onto the ice. So they did talk to Jim Montgomery, who eventually was like, yeah, whatever. So it's 4-on-4, and again, the fans weren't happy. Pastrnak has a chance that's held through a screen. Coyle to Marchand gets picked off. The teams exchange turnovers. Robertson's robbed in close. Ullmark holds on there. Shots are 5-4 for Boston at 7.5 minutes. And honestly, it stays pretty quiet until at 12:06, Matthews wires one on a breakaway. Beautiful move on the breakaway. The assists to Domi and Lyubushkin. And then the Leafs look for another. So now they're ahead in Boston. They've quieted the crowd down a bit. They know they've got to keep on it. Leafs press with 6.5 minutes left. Marchand then has a backhand that's held. There's some pushing there. Bruins get a power play with 6:03 left. Shattenkirk has a blast that's held. The Bruins press. Or the Bruins cycle, the Leafs clear. They clear it again. And then Dewar with a clear that ends up ending that power play. So Boston does not generate anything on that power play. Bruins press after it's done. The goalie pull happens. But the Bruins then ice it with 1:48 left. So just not great moves there by Boston. Goalie pull happens with 1:30 left. Zacha can't bury one. There's a dog pile at the net there. 48.9 seconds left. The Bruins call a timeout. Pastrnak has a one-timer. Pastrnak has a one-timer that's held, easy for me to say. And yeah, Toronto holds on. They win this one 3-2. They tie the series at 1. Shots on net, 14-10 Toronto in the first, 12-9 Toronto in the second, 10-7 Boston in the third. Final shots 33-29 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Power plays, 1 for 3 for both teams. Boston out-hit Toronto 44-41. Samsonov saves 27 out of 29 at one end. Ullmark saves 30 out of 33 at the other end. So coming out of this game tonight, I think we can agree that Toronto is in this series. So now they're going home. I think they need to win at least one of the two, and I would say if they win both, obviously. But yeah, Boston, I said before the series started, it's not really the big bad Bruins. They don't have Bergeron. They don't have Krejci. I do think there's an opening there for Toronto. And full transparency, of the 3 series that teams that I root for are in, this is the one where if the team that I'm rooting for loses, I'm actually okay with it. Toronto fans have been through it for years, and if they did knock off the Boston Bruins, I know that would feel very similar to how it felt for Vancouver Canuck fans back in 2011 when they knocked out Chicago. And of course, the Canucks went on quite a run after finally overcoming Chicago. Maybe, and I know people are going to laugh at me for suggesting it, but maybe if this is the year that Toronto does it, maybe they end up going on a run after knocking off the Bruins, if that does take place. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Obviously, it's just the one game, but I do think Toronto did very well in both games. And yeah, this series hangs in the balance. Game 3 should be very, very interesting. That game is on Wednesday, of course, and I will be here to review that when it takes place. So now I got 3 more games to review. But again, let me know your thoughts. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.